Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, King Dio, Lauren Frey, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon. So, this weekend, I took the time to play a little bit of the best game series of all time, The Witcher. Not The Witcher 3, which is the only game I've ever heard anyone in my life talk about, but The Witcher 1, a game that I had never heard of before, a game that I don't really didn't really care about, a game that I was really interested in trying because of its association with The Witcher 3. So I downloaded this game on Steam. I bought it on sale. I download it. I play it, and I'm shocked to discover it's pure, unadulterated shit. There is no defending this title. There's no defending like its combat system, its world building, its characters. Like it's just trash all the way through. So much so that I find myself like very surprised that anyone defended this game or like thought the IP was even worth investing in. It just feels like I've said this for years, but it feels like the Witcher brand only gained relevancy because there's nothing else to play on modern hardware. Like everything else has been going to shit for decades, and so like everyone's been trying to latch on to the next big thing. And From Software is that The Witcher is that like there have been a lot of like mediocre IPs that have gained prominence just simply by virtue of not being broken or not being exploited in the case of Witcher 3 and its DLC. Like playing The Witcher 1 was a really interesting experience because I got to see like how the games got started, how they kind of established themselves. And I found myself with a very slow paced, very boring, very meandering mess, right? That didn't explain critical plot points, that just kind of threw you into the action, which didn't build up any of the characters. None of the characters were interesting. Geralt has conveniently lost his memory, like every other RPG character ever. Like this is the pinnacle of Western RPG development. Like really? Like this point and click adventure game? Like I I found myself like taken aback at how much I didn't like it. And I kept like playing it because like, it plays a little bit differently than things I'm used to. I was wondering if there was like more to the game that I didn't really understand yet, or if like the story would get better. But I realized quickly that I didn't really care. Like there are better dark fantasy stories out there. Like Berserk is better. Wraithblade is better. Like fucking Game of Thrones is better than this shit, I think. I've read both books. Like I've read the Witcher books. I can tell you Game of Thrones is, as repetitive as it is better than the Witcher books, which is just schlocky like power fantasy bullshit, really. I hate the Witcher IP. I haven't really. I don't want to say that I've spent a lot of time playing the games because I really haven't, but I've played The Witcher 3. I've played The Witcher 1. Like, are you going to try to tell me that The Witcher 2 is the only game in the series worth playing? I don't think so. Like 2 out of 3 games in the franchise are simply not worth experiencing. Like, why would I ever continue with this IP? There's nothing to it. Like, there's no reason to do so. Like, the series isn't going to suddenly revitalize itself and make itself relevant. If anything, I think it's going to decline in popularity as the years go on and Zelda kind of establishes itself as like the superior uh, open world experience. But like CD Projekt Red is putting out The Witcher 4 right now because they have absolutely nothing to. They need to rebuild their credibility after like the disaster of Cyberpunk 2077. I I hope it never gets made. I hope it never comes out. I hope this IP dies. I hope it becomes stagnant. I hope those of you who legitimately thought The Witcher 3 was a great experience are left out in the cold forever. You don't deserve to get new games. You should be going out and playing good ones. This shit is not worth supporting.